Lee Summit is your destination for big city vibes and small town charm.
Head to the downtown Lee Summit Farmers Market, where local meets fresh. Then grab a cup of coffee and discover a variety of shops and boutiques just around the corner. Continue the fun in downtown Lee Summit at a retro arcade bar. Discover your new beer at one of our 6 locally owned breweries. Cool off with some handcrafted cocktails at happy hour. End the night with live music and good company. Lee Summit, Missouri.
Hello, Lee Summit. I'm Laura, and this is your flash briefing for the week of May 19th. City Council will meet for regular session Tuesday night at 6 in Council Chambers in City Hall. Meetings are open to the public or watch live on the city's YouTube channel. If you can't watch, catch the recorded meeting on demand on the YouTube channel or by subscribing to the Council Debrief newsletter, which breaks down 3 to 4 key agenda items. Subscribe at cityofls.net. Are you trained in hands-only CPR? The Lee Summit Fire Department is launching Pulse Point Respond, a free 911 connected mobile app that alerts citizens trained in hands-only CPR when CPR is needed nearby in a public location. CPR can be started in the critical minutes before emergency services arrive. Learn more at cityofls.net/pulsepoint. Stay weather aware this week by signing up for LS Aware, the city's free mass notification system. It can alert residents about a variety of events ranging from severe weather and other emergencies to more routine announcements, such as road closures and water utility maintenance. Messages will be sent to residents on their preferred communication device. You choose how you want to be notified. Learn more at lsaware.net. And kick off Memorial Weekend with the 4th Fridays Art Walk and Music in the Park in downtown Lee Summit. Find a full list of details at downtownls.org. A reminder, city offices will be closed on Monday, May 26th. Thanks for listening and have a great week.
Welcome to the Lee Summit Sign Department. We are going to walk you through our process from start to finish. We make signs as needed here. It's not like we just go out into the field and place a speed limit sign here, no parking here. Our traffic engineers, they go through and they'll do field studies. They'll send us down an engineering work order for us to go out, place new signs or remove signs as needed. Coming from the material, our blanks come in and they're just aluminum blanks. We can put our white, our red, our fluorescent yellow, green, whatever. And basically what it looks like is just that there. Throw it up into the roller. And once we got it covered, take it to our work table here, and Tim will cut the corners, cut all the access off to where it's lined up right. As far as the plotter and the software that we use, there's a street name sign there, and he's gonna go ahead and print that out on the plotter so you can see the plotter and how it operates and runs. There's standards for the height, even just on letters on the sign blank. Basically what we have on the computer there is it's pretty much set up to those. And it goes through, it's got a very small but sharp needle that goes through and cuts everything out, letter by letter. Once that's done cutting, our next stage would be bringing it over here. Currently picking out the sign letters right now. We call it weeding or picking or however you want to call it. Next, putting it on the transfer tape. Then after it's taped, we bring it over to the roller. That's where we apply it to the actual sign blank. And we'll roll it through one time just to get the air bubbles out. And the last stage is basically just taking the transfer tape off the front of it. And there's a finished product of the street name sign. We'll take you out to the field and show you our process that we go through. We're gonna go out and follow our sign guys, get something installed for you. This is where we check our underground utilities. Tim, you got AT&T?
AT&T is back here.
Evergy, Google, so we should be good to go. We normally put all of our stuff together out in the field. Then once the base is installed, we'll go ahead and put the post in there. These come up too. Perfect. And that's how we do it. Simple, quick.
Smith Hat Company is coming to downtown Lee Summit. Purchase a variety of hats, including cowboy or cowgirl hats, or unleash your creativity and design a one-of-a-kind custom hat, choosing from premium materials, unique embellishments, and expert craftsmanship. Smith Hat Company is hanging its hat here in spring 2025. Summit Play Village is coming to South Lee Summit near Raintree. The indoor children's playground will be for children 8 and under to promote creativity, explore family-friendly activities, and have fun. Summit Play Village is set to open in April 2025. Street food sensation turned fast casual hit Dave's Hot Chicken is bringing the heat to Lee Summit. Specializing in Nashville-style hot chicken and serving tenders and sliders, Dave's Hot Chicken will be arriving to Summit Woods in summer 2025. Lee Summit is getting 3 ice cream shops across the city. Howdy Homemade Ice Cream will be scooping its way into the Chapel Ridge Shopping Center. Howdy Homemade creates a place where everyone belongs, a shop dedicated to creating jobs for people with disabilities. The amazing ice cream served by amazing people will be coming in summer 2025. Brewster's Ice Cream will serve Summit Woods Crossing with over 24 fresh, rotating flavors made daily. The shop offers 150 homemade ice cream flavors, including sherbets and sorbets, as well as ice cream cakes and pies. Brewster's Ice Cream is coming in summer 2025. Summit Woods Crossing is also getting a Cold Stone Creamery. The ice cream parlor serves fresh, made-to-order customizable ice cream mixed on a frozen granite stone. Cold Stone Creamery is coming in summer 2025.
Member Lovell. Thank you, Mayor. Great presentation, Ryan. Thank you. Is there any indicator that shows, are we supporting a need?
You know, they talk about like gym rats, kids that grew up with their dads that were coaches. Like I was a city hall rat. My dad, Tom Lovell, was hired as the Parks Administrator in 1978 and spent 40 years in public service here in Lee Summit. I would go up on the weekends when he was working and I'd run around and play and do things, and I didn't know what he was doing at the time, but I just knew that was part of our weekend routine some days was to go up and hang out at City Hall. Being part of a city from a young age to now in my adult life, you reap so many benefits from that. The people you know, you care more for something that you've been a part of. My wife and I knew we wanted to raise a family. Just trying to find a community that we thought we could raise our children in, that was good to me, and it just felt like the right move as we were deciding on a city to come back to. Fortunate to have started a business in 2018. I founded Lovell Insurance Group, and we are a business insurance brokerage. So we help businesses procure insurance. Decided to throw our flag in the ground here in Lee Summit, and it's grown. I also have this passion for learning and curiosity, and I started a podcast series. So I really enjoy this opportunity where I sit down with business owners and tell their story and get this out to other people in hopes that maybe it betters their life and gives them some inspiration. It's going to be a really exciting time, and obviously this city is in my blood. My dad's been a part of it for a long time, so I'm really excited. Thank you all. A lot of people would say I was crazy, right? So why do you throw your hand up and subject yourself to going into city politics? I think, especially as I've gotten older, I just felt, maybe a civic duty, like a responsibility to say, hey, this city's been great to me. Here's a way that I can give back and take some of my skills and put them to work for the people of this city. I wanted to bring a different, maybe way of thinking and take some of my business acumen and see areas that it may apply to how we develop and grow this community and just give a different perspective. One of our biggest challenges, but also one of our biggest opportunities is how do we develop and grow this community? We don't want to grow too fast, but we want to grow at a pace that helps support, who and what we are as a community. So, we've got a lot of opportunities, whether that be through development or parks. We've got a lot of land coming on board. So I just think it's important, like, it's a challenge, but it's also our greatest opportunity. And so we just got to be smart how we do that. It's just asking some different questions. Like, I'm one that, I'm not contrarian for contrarian's sake. What I am is someone will tell me something, and then I want to get to that position with them by just asking thoughtful questions along the way. And then if I can get there, then I feel like we've answered everything we can to move that forward, versus, hey, here's kind of how we've done it. I'm never the, this is how we do it, this is how we've always done it, and this is how we'll continue to do it. Office of Council Member for District 2. All of my practical experience has put me in this position to serve, and I just raised my hand and said I want to do that, for which I was elected on April 5th, 2022. I feel this obligation to carry this legacy that my dad did, my family did, and then giving my kids an environment to grow up in that makes them want to come back. My kids have started rec sports through the Parks and Recreation system, and I'm watching them play soccer on this sport field that, you know, my dad helped develop. And my dad's sitting there with me, right? I mean, that's the stuff that really matters in life.
Welcome, everyone. Would you please rise for the invocation and stay standing for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and the chance to come together in service. May our hearts be open, our minds be clear, and our words be thoughtful as we work for the good of our city. Amen.
Okay, again, welcome everyone. I'm calling to order the City of Lee Summit regular session number 38. Could I get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Pryor. Here. Councilmember Rader.
Present.
Councilmember Funk.
Present.
Councilmember Lovell.
Here.
Councilmember Carlisle. Councilmember Shields.
Here.
Councilmember Hodges.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Lopez.
Here.
Mayor Baird.
Here. All right, thank you. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion? I have a motion to adopt the agenda by Councilmember Hodges, seconded by Councilmember Funk. Discussion? Seeing none, please cast your vote. All votes are in. Please record the vote. It's unanimous. Thank you all. Next is the approval of the consent agenda. Can I get a motion? I have a motion to adopt the consent agenda by Councilmember Hodges, seconded by Councilmember Pryor. Discussion? Seeing none, please cast your vote. All votes are in. Please record the vote. It's also unanimous. Thank you all. Next is Council Roundtable. These are items of interest, maybe in your district or things going on in the community. Yes, Councilmember Shields.
Thank you, Mayor. This Friday will be the fourth Friday Art Walk with Music in the Park, downtown Lee Summit, so hope everybody comes out for that. And then Farmers Market is continuing Wednesday and Saturday mornings, and they've been having a great showing so far this season, so thank you.
I heard they have over 100 applicants for when the new Farmers Market opens. Yep. Thank you. Councilmember Pryor.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to publicly beg Medis to come to Lee Summit. So that's all. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Okay, then we're going to move on to proclamations, and we will start with answering the call. If you could meet me, I think I saw Ronnie here. Yeah, come on down. And anybody else that you'd like to have with you, Ronnie? All right. How are you? Good. Good. You too. All right. Come back here with me. All right. Whereas first responders are people who selflessly go immediately to the scene of an accident, emergency, or disaster to provide life-saving assistance and medical treatment to others. Whereas these trained professionals include firefighters, paramedics, EMTs, police officers, and whereas there are times when first responders are the ones needing help in cases after they survive a critical incident or are diagnosed with a rare and aggressive illness. In 2015, Answering the Call, a 501c3 nonprofit, was founded by Ronnie Dumit to support these first responders in Missouri and Kansas and their families during difficult times, such as following severe injury or illness, through community donations and fundraising efforts. And whereas community support for first responders fosters collaboration, unity, and partnership, enabling both parties to work towards a safer and more resilient community. And whereas Answering the Call is dedicated to the financial assistance of KC Metro area first responders and has provided over $1.3 million in financial support, allowing these dedicated men and women to focus on their recovery and well-being. By virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Lee Summit, I do hereby proclaim Answering the Call, this proclamation for Answering the Call. I messed that last part up. You've done great things. I've watched you grow this since, 2015. Wow. 10 years. Wow. Wow, you've done great things. I've watched you grow it like crazy. Love what you're doing. Very proud of you. You're homegrown right here as far as we're concerned. So, so tell us a little bit about you and answering the call.
Yeah, well, now I'm a retired detective with the Lee Summit Police Department, so honored to serve this great community of ours. Honored to establish this foundation here, supported by you for many years, Mr. Dunning, the council. I know there's been turnover, but it's just continued support from the city for our foundation and our mission that goes along with the city and just the Kansas City community. You know, we are simply a conduit that gets to step into the lives of our first responders when they themselves need it the most, and we step in on behalf of the community. Overwhelmingly supported by the community, and just goes to show the 1.3 million we've been able to donate back and get involved in a situation where there is no resources for them at all when they survive a critical incident or diagnosed with a rare and aggressive illness, all because of Detective Josh Ward 10 years ago. You know, and what I saw behind closed doors in our first responder community and the lack of resources in that regard. So we get to answer their calls for service just like they do for ours every single day.
Is it, are you seeing that starting to maybe be destigmatized as far as, you know, people needing help? The last people that want to ask for help are first responders, police officers and firefighters. Are you seeing, you know, seeing them take advantage of your services more and more as the time goes?
Well, I don't let them say no. I really don't. And no, they don't reach out to me typically. But the nice thing about it is the word's gotten out about us now, and people know about us. And I literally getting phone calls from boots on the ground at critical incidents. So they make me aware of the incident, and we get the board involved, and we're usually involved within the first responder's life within hours of a critical incident. There is no red tape with us. There is just action. And then we stay involved with them, and we become a community resource with the great support of our small business community in Kansas City. And we do so much more than just a financial donation to them. We just do so much more. So we're able to provide a resource to them that's never been provided in the state of our history of our state, Kansas as well.
Thank you for what you're doing. I mean, to be that proactive is exactly what we need. And I wish all the nonprofits took that approach in that way sometimes. But you know that what you got to do, and thank you for being there for our first responders and more. All right, can you take a picture? Absolutely. I feel bad doing this next proclamation without Trish here. Is she coming?
So she's not going to make it, but I was wondering if
No, I was saying Trish isn't here. I was wondering if I should delay because she was a big part of this. Come on forward.
she is on her way, she said.
We can wait. Do you guys want to wait? That's fine.
No, we need to do it now, or you're going to be here all night.
How are you? I'm good, thanks.
Good. This is a proclamation, and there were many ways we could have gone with this. We could have gone with, what were all the options that Trish sent me? World Bee Day. There's Pollinator Day. Pollinator Awareness Day. So there's a lot to this one. So bear with me for a second, though. Whereas pollinators such as bees, butterflies, birds, bats, and other wildlife play a critical role in the reproduction of over 75% of the world's flowering plants and are essential to the production of many fruits, vegetables, and nuts. And whereas bees in particular are responsible for pollinating more than 1/3 of the food we eat, supporting both ecological balance and economic stability, and whereas pollinator populations are in decline due to habitat loss, pesticide use, climate change, and disease, posing serious risks to global biodiversity, food security, and environmental health. The conservation of pollinators and their habitats is a shared responsibility that requires the support of individuals, communities, businesses, and governments. Whereas educating the public about the importance of pollinators and encouraging the planting of native flowers, reducing chemical use, and creating pollinator-friendly landscapes can help ensure a thriving ecosystem for future generations. Whereas World Bee Day serves as an opportunity for the City of Lee Summit to celebrate the beauty, value, and necessity of pollinators and to take action toward their protection, and preservation. By virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Lee Summit, I do hereby proclaim the day of May 20th, 2025 as World Bee Day. All right. Yeah, thank you. Can you tell us who are you and what do you want to say about pollination?
Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Holly Stuhlman. I am a beekeeper myself, and I am also a member of the Midwestern Beekeepers Association. We have worked many years to bring more attention to our pollinators as well as bees. Also, I'm very excited about this happening today because it is actually World Bee Day across the world. So now we have got Lee Summit involved with celebrating that. You guys, I did take some notes here because I could take over this whole meeting if I'm not scripted here. It's just very important to get the word out. Some of you might recall, we did update the beekeeping ordinance in the city of Lee Summit in 2021. Bees were considered a nuisance inside city limits. So it took a whole team of people to help make that happen. State of Missouri helped me, all kinds of other beekeeping surrounding areas across the KC Metro and on the Kansas side to make that happen. So super excited. So doing this World Bee Day today just helps keep that going, the support of the pollinators and how we need to use less chemicals. Our pollinators, butterflies, bees, bats, they're all in harm's way because there's a lot more pesticides that are used, there's disease, there's environmental situations that are happening. So the more that we can educate our community to plant more native-friendly plants to keep our native bees, our honeybees, and all the other great pollinators, hummingbirds, all those critters that you don't even really think about pollinating is very important. So really appreciative of this honor.
Thank you very much. Would you take a photo real quick? All right. And then, darn, Trish still isn't here.
I'm going to talk to her about that.
Okay, I have one question before you go. What about those carpenter bees? Do you have to be nice to them too?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't catch them, and I just shoo them away.
You can provide alternative habitat if you don't want them in your, they usually like old wood.
I prefer to shoo them away. I don't really want them to habitat on my property.
Tennis racket.
I don't. All right. Catch them in those horrible little
But they are
containers.
pollinators and they're big, so they can carry a lot of pollination.
They are big, and they scare people.
And they're clumsy. They,
Yeah.
they're
Okay.
harmless.
Thank you so
All right,
much.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Okay, let's see where we are now. We got to dive into business now. Get to the hard stuff. Actually, a couple of them are going to get continued. I'm going to close the regular session and open the public hearing in the matter of agenda item 5A. This is a public hearing application for residential primary development plan, 150 in Ward Apartments, 3620 Southwest Ward Road. Milhaus Development is the applicant. I'm just opening it up, and could I get a motion? Councilmember Shields.
Mayor, I move to continue public hearing on PL 2024-319 to a date certain of June 17th, 2025.
Thank you. I have a motion to continue this till June 17th, 2025 by Councilmember Shields, seconded by Councilmember Hodges. Discussion? Seeing none, please cast your vote. All votes are in. Please record the vote. That'll be continued till June 17th. I'm going to close the regular session again, open the public hearing in the matter of agenda item 5B. This is a Chapter 100 plan for the View High Sports Complex project. 3D Builders KC LLC is the applicant. Councilmember Shields.
Mayor, I move to continue item 2025-6916 public hearing for Chapter 100 plan to a date certain of June 10th, 2025.
Okay, please note, she said June 10th. It's different than your agenda. That was the request right before the meeting. So it is June 10th that we are continuing this to, as far as the date certain, by Councilmember Shields, seconded by Councilmember Hodges. Discussion? Seeing none, please cast your vote. Oh, thank you. All votes are in. Please record the vote. Passes 8-0. Thank you. Okay, now we're going to go to, we're going to close the regular session and open the public hearing in the matter of agenda item 5C. This is a preliminary development plan for Valvoline Oil, 610 Northwest Chipman Road. WSO Partners LLC is the applicant. Would all those wishing to speak to this matter please rise and be sworn in by the city clerk? All right, does the applicant have a presentation? Mr. Peterson.
Hi, Mayor. Good evening, Council.
So sorry.
It's going to help me with the code. Let's see. 4. No. Sorry, Mark. F, yeah. Which one? Control. Do Control L. Control L for large. Thank you. Use your arrows. Yep. Appreciate it. Good evening. My name is Kurt Peterson, 900 West 48th Place, Kansas City, Missouri. I'm here on behalf of WSO Partners LLC, which is the owner of the property that we're going to be talking about. I will give full disclosure that I am pinch hitting for a dear, dear friend of mine that is the co-owner of the property. So you get me, not him. He's at his daughter's graduation tonight, so I thought that was a pretty good excuse. The site we're going to be talking about is made up of 3 lots at the northwest corner of Chipman and Ward. The applicant purchased those and put all the utility extensions in, got them pad ready, and then also has one of those pads, the Andy's Frozen Custard Pad, that you may see under construction. You can see now on the screen. Chipman is running east-west at the bottom of the screen. Andy's is under construction. The site that we're going to talk about tonight is actually just next to it, so to the right when you're looking at the screen, or to the east, at the hard corner there of Ward and Chipman. The site is very small next to Andy's. It is 0.74 acres of buildable area that you can actually use, so there's not a lot of users you can actually bring to this pad. It's also very narrow, you can see. If we zoomed in, we could see there's a gas line easement and other utility easements. There's shared access drive over at the top of the screen, shared access right in here with Andy's. That eats into the site, and there just aren't a lot of options for this specific lot. Now, fortunately, we did identify a business that can make this site work, and I'd like to share 4 points that we think makes both this business and the actual building that they're proposing compelling and an attractive choice tonight. Point 1 is that this user, which is Valvoline, is a proven industry leader. They were established back in 1986, and they are now up to 2,100 locations across the United States and Canada. Also, good factoid that I know matters is that they generate a lot of sales tax. They generate the equivalent amount of sales tax as like a fast food user or a small retail establishment. So that's a bonus for a service user like that. Second is that they're socially responsible. So they're a good neighbor to the community. They're trusted, quality service. They have clean properties. They have professional landscape maintenance. They have no outdoor storage. They have no overnight parking. They have reasonable business hours, 8 to 7 on the weekdays, 9 to 6 on Saturday, and limited hours on Sunday. They have all of their full-time employees that have full benefits and matching 401k benefits. Noise, that's always a question when we have a use like this, and it should be. Noise mitigation. All work is performed inside the building. There's limited product delivery. It's only during business hours, and there's never a tractor trailer, ever. The trash and recycle is picked up 1 time per week. The compressor they have for both air and oil is in a sound deadened room inside the building. Their company policy prohibits music of any type because they need to have all verbal communications to be heard amongst the employees at all times. So noise mitigation is paid attention to in great detail. Also odor, that's another question that comes with something like this. Is there going to be any odor into the surrounding buildings? The exhaust systems terminate at the roof. The waste oil that, the oil they take out of our cars, is stored in sealed tanks and then vented to the roof. And the product that, when it's removed, is removed by licensed companies that pump from the tanks. They don't come and take kind of old school barrels away and things like that. So there's really no odor that is emitted from the building. The third is the environmentally responsible nature of Valvoline operations. 100% of the materials in their regular primary services they do are recycled. They have no in-ground tanks. You hear over the years how there's in-ground tanks that leak and things like that. There's no in-ground tanks. They're all above ground inside the building where you can't see them. And then lastly, their basement has a liquid-proof membrane that both keeps water out, like your basement, but also if there is any spill of any sort, it can't penetrate into the ground. Lastly, fourth, is they're really a compatible use with the uses around it. One, I wanted to show the elevations on the screen here, and I have materials behind us if we want to look in detail, but a staff will attest we worked really hard from the very beginning with professional staff here to enhance the building design more than what you would typically see to be a good fit for the area, for the businesses around it. So we use quality materials, which is mainly brick, masonry materials, and fiber cement. The materials and the coloration specifically were designed to be harmonious with, as the staff report lays out, with the businesses and colors in the area. And then the garage doors that you can see that are on the north and the south side of the building are a glazed material that mimics sort of a commercial storefront, and that's also by design for good looks. In terms of landscaping, the next slide will show it even better, but again, we're down in the bottom right-hand corner, and you can see here's Chipman. So when I go to the next slide, you'll see this is turned so you can see it big, but right here is what we're talking about. Significant landscaping so that the garage doors, which again are on the north and south side, cannot be viewed from Chipman. And then this also gives you a good look at it's making sure you're paying attention. It turned again. South is to the bottom, north is to the top. Cars pull through one direction right here, and you have all this landscaping, let alone the landscaping that goes up along Ward. And again, this is what's being screened. There's a picture of those glazed garage doors. So there's residential on the south side of Chipman, as you all know. The residential properties don't face, they turn, so you're getting the side of the house on the south side of Chipman across from the site. The only opposition we've had at the neighborhood meeting or at Planning Commission was actually just one property owner the whole time, and that's actually a property owner that's catty corner from this site across Chipman. That's actually a long-term rental property, and the concerns they brought up were property value, noise, odor, and also said there wasn't any similar sort of, I guess, auto-focused uses or services along this corridor. One of the planning commissioners did point out, I'll just note, some of you I know go back and have time to watch this yourself, but pointed out when that point was made that actually we have a fueling station just to the east here, and just a little bit to the west we have a car wash, noting that there's lots of residents, there's more apartments coming, and people need this kind of use. So we spoke with North Point, just to our north, who is developing the Trilogy multifamily. They have no problem with this use. That's our direct neighbor to the north. We also spoke with Summit Fair, the owner of the Power Center right there, and they said as long as we weren't doing public improvements that were going to temporarily mess up access to the shopping center, that they're fine with it, and we're not. So they're good. So in conclusion, Mayor and Council, I would say this. I would respectfully, on behalf of this applicant, request your support for this preliminary development plan, because the uses here are extremely limited what you can put on this lot. We have a proven high-quality business that can make this site work for them. They have an enhanced building design that's harmonious with surrounding buildings. There's a solid amount of sales tax generation. Both Planning Commission and staff has supported the application, and other than the owner of the long-term rental catty corner, there's been no public concern expressed at any point. So thank you for listening to this presentation. I'd love to answer your questions now or after staff speaks.
All right, thank you, sir. Can I get staff's presentation, please?
Okay. Good evening. My name is Ian Treffrin, planner. I'd like to begin by entering into the record Exhibit A, list of exhibits 1 through 16.
Please enter into the record Exhibit A 1 through 16.
Thank you. So this evening I'll be presenting application PL 2025-038, a preliminary development plan for Valvoline Oil change at 610 Northwest Chipman Road. The applicant is requesting approval to construct a 2-bay oil change facility at the northwest corner of Ward and Chipman Road. The property is zoned PMIX and is surrounded by PMIX zoning to the north, east, and west, as well as residential to the south across Northwest Chipman Road. The PMIX zoning designation was established in 1999, and the PDP was established in 2022. The future land use map designates this property as part of the Activity Center Summit District, and along with meeting all the standards of the future land use plan, the project also meets all standards of the Unified Development Ordinance as well. Moving over to the elevations, the building is primarily constructed out of brick, fiber cement paneling, as well as EIFS, alongside glass storefront windows and glass roll-up doors. With respect to the application itself, a neighborhood information meeting was held on March 19th, 2025, wherein 2 members of the public attended and both expressed opposition to the project. These members of the public expressed concerns over compatibility, noise and property values, as well as deviation from previously approved plans and redevelopment difficulty. Beyond that, staff has received no comments in support or opposition from the public. The applicant worked with staff to improve the materials of the building to match those of other first-tier developments along Northwest Chipman Road in the immediate vicinity, as well as enhancing landscaping along the southern property line facing Northwest Chipman Road, emphasizing around the roll-up doors on the south side. So with the application, or with the condition of approval stated here, the application does meet the standards of the Ignite Comprehensive Plan. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Questions for staff or the applicant? Councilmember Lovell.
Thank you. If you could just go to slide. So I don't have a particular problem with the use. I am concerned about the traffic already there as someone that has used the Andes. Not for me, it's for my kids. It's very congested. So so that entrance coming in up at the top, so you come in left off of Ward and you come down. Now those parking lots are completely full. The idea is a right turn and then down to the Andes drive-through, and then that you come out of the drive-through. Right now you're forced to go left and back, and it's really tight coming in and coming out. Is that a shared parking lot that you can come out of Andes and go right into Valvoline and then back out?
That's correct. It is
Just feel like it's really congested when we set this up, and I'm not sure. I just want to make sure there's enough room now to improve the flow, because right now it's not good. And by putting this use in there, I bet their times are different, and that it might work. But just, I'm hoping that do you believe, does staff believe that additional egress out of there to the right is going to help with the flow of traffic? Or will this Valvoline increase that, and we're going to have more bottlenecks there?
The shared drive, well, it meets all the standards of the typical internal drive networks that we have. It is a shared drive, so you're correct that people exiting out of Andes could turn right and then exit out to the north. As for the effect that that'll have on congestion on the site, I don't feel comfortable speaking to that with any level of, I would defer to traffic or somebody, the applicant for that matter.
Maybe Mr. Park.
Yes, Michael Park, Director of Public Works. Trying to ascertain your question is,
So it's congested. It's very hard to get in and out of there. It's obviously new, so it's more busy.
Yeah.
But so I guess with that opening up, my thought or my hope is is that going to ease congestion now, getting people in and out of there? Because the Andes will drive a ton of traffic. I don't know about the Valvoline. And if they were busy at the same time, it could be an issue.
I haven't been to experience the congestion, but I know all the congestion you're referring to is on private property and the private driveways and circulation around Andes and this new lot, and you're asking whether or not I believe it's going to get worse. I do think you kind of alluded a little bit to they're somewhat compatible uses. When Andes is busy, Valvoline is not. But With regard to the public access, which is where staff is focused on the impact to the public and the operations on the public systems, we didn't see any impact in that area. I wouldn't disagree if you thought it would be more congested on site, but again, we're not reviewing, or we're not the developer's engineer to lay out a site in that way.
So, agreed. With the advent of more like drive-throughs, it may be something we need to start thinking more about, because again, I get the developer lays that out, we have to approve it to say that works or it doesn't work, but I think really thinking these flows would be better. I think it probably helps it having that open, but anyway, it may be something in the future to think about. So I'm in support of the use. I just, again, it already seems to be a traffic problem. I'm hopeful this helps ease that. That's it.
Mark Dunning, City Manager, Councilmember Lovell, I'll speak. I've experienced exactly what you were describing, and I would offer, having experienced that, I'll try to use my cursor here, so, with my kids. As you come out of the after you get your concrete, there is no exit to the east, right? And so I agree with you that opening up that as an option to go back to this location and then, exit from the site, that will be helpful. I truly believe that, but I will say I'm no traffic engineer. Because there's only one way in and out, and it's through this location right here, and you've got all the parking that's here as well. In addition, the current arrangement, if you come down this road, it's difficult to get parked. You have to come in here, and so opening this up like it is represented will provide a lot more options. Now, having said that, the one thing that I would point out is, the queuing here at an oil change facility, if that starts to get backed up, it could get a little challenging. So I've experienced oil change locations, and sometimes, me personally, when I see that many cars, I'm like, well, I'll come back at a different time, right? So I don't know if that's helpful or not, but I've experienced it.
It is. I think it's just like, again, like, I don't know how we think these things through as a city, but even if you go outright, you've got people coming down to go Valvoline. Now you're going to have a cross pattern there. But anyway, I have to trust that. Again, I don't have a problem with the use. I just do have some concern with the congestion and the traffic flow right now. But I don't know that there's anything we can fix with it the way it's laid out currently. But
the other thing I'd add to this being, what we typically see is newer establishments such as an Andy's and other restaurants and food service. There's a big surge right when they open, and then it'll feather out over time. But recognizing that there's certain periods of the year, holidays, graduations, things like that, they do become very, very busy.
All right, that's it. Thanks, Mayor.
Could maybe, if the applicant could maybe provide, how many customers a day do you think?
You're going, Mayor, where I was going to go, which is, I don't know the exact number, but and yes, I've also been to Andy's with 5 kids, but I've also been to Valvoline's. I've never seen a Valvoline stack a ton, and it's not just a Valvoline. And I think part of it is what Mark said, like, it's never a crisis, right? So if you're just not going to do it if it's not convenient. So when I look at this, I really think, Mayor, along those lines of how many cars are going to be trying to use a Valvoline, what does it take? Probably 15 minutes. You pull in, you stay in your car, and it's very controlled, right? There's only 2 bays, and it lets you out. It's probably, in terms of a small lot next to an Andy's, which we know what Andy's does, it's probably the best thing you could ever, think about it. Even a bank is probably going to have more cars going through there. So I would suggest it's a great, Councilman Lovell, it's a great thought to start thinking this through. In this instance, we probably have about the lowest flow user you could have, and it's offset on Andy's hours. So that's all I'd add.
I think it gets back to your point of proper uses, like another fast casual restaurant or something like that. It would just be too much. But so, okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Sir.
Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Pryor.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, so I am concerned about, Andy's has an outdoor patio. They don't have inside seating. Cooper's Hawk, their outdoor patio faces Valvoline. I personally wouldn't want to eat getting any sort of whiff of motor oil at all at either location. I also looked up the reviews, and there's only a 36% positive reviews on Apple Maps, and A lot of 1 stars on Google reviews. So that also concerns me. But mainly, I don't think it's a good use, not being next to 2 restaurants that have a large patio that are always full. So, thank you.
Okay, I want to remind everybody we're in the public hearing right now, so we're fact seeking. Councilmember Shields?
Thank you, Mayor. So in this zoning PMIX, auto service like this is a permitted use, right? They don't need any special permission for that. We're just doing the PDP because it's a different looking building than what was originally proposed, or I didn't quite catch that at the beginning.
Yeah, so the PMIC zoning is very adjustable based off of the originally approved plan. In this case, the 2022 PDP that kind of defined the current land use standards allowed on this property it included restaurants, retail, and commercial. So in that case, it would be allowed as part of that. However, the proposed business use types, along with the architectural standards like you mentioned, were substantially different enough from the approved plan in 2022 that we required, or the director required, a PDP to be approved.
Right.
At this point.
But generally in PMIX, it's an acceptable use in this area. They just need to modify it since it wasn't part of the original plan. They don't need a rezoning. They don't need any special use permits or anything like that.
That's correct.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. I just like to make sure I'm clear on the decision that we're making because it seems like the use and everything is kind of already baked in. We're just saying that we're okay with changing the PDP to reflect these new elevations. And it said they're meeting all the requirements of the zoning code, right? They're not asking for any variances for setbacks or landscaping or parking or anything like that, right?
That's correct. They don't need
Okay.
any modifications.
Okay, I think that's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Rader?
Thank you, Mayor. Well, I believe, Mr. Peterson, you stated that this type of business generates the same amount of tax as a drive-through? Is that what tax revenues?
Similar to a fast food or a small
fast
retail.
food.
Yep,
So is that
that's right.
based, because it's based on trip charge? Why is that?
Just the taxability of what the service they're providing. I don't know if it's the materials or service. I just read it in the materials, so I'd have to look and see. I don't know if anybody from the dais even knows off the top of your head, but there's the material part and there's the service part. So I just know the net taxable at these stores tends to be about the same.
Oh, okay. That's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. Okay. Not seeing further comments or questions, or not comments, but questions. Is there anybody here that wishes to speak in favor or in opposition to this application? Please come forward. Are there any additional questions from council? Does the applicant care to make any further comment?
Well, usually not, Mayor, but the only thing I'll say is if anybody was wondering, it was a good question from Councilmember Pryor about Cooper's Hawk and such to the east. If you might just remember in your mind that there's a lot of landscaping. I could give more slides, but here on the east side that is meant to provide a visual screen. So other than that, Mayor, no, thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, then I'm going to close the public hearing and reopen the regular session. Is there any council discussion on this application? Councilmember Carlisle.
Thank you, Mayor. I would just thank the applicant for coming forward and putting in another oil change facility. I don't know if anybody else tries to get their oil changed in Lee Summit, but I can tell you it's not easy. Also, I do frequent Valvoline Instant Oil when I get my oil changed, so I'm very happy there's a second location, and I can tell you that the location on 291 has been next to a restaurant for 20 years or more probably. And I've went to those restaurants as well and have never smelled motor oil or exhaust or anything like that, because most people in the queue are turning their cars off anyways. So I think that this is a good fit for the location when there's not a lot that really could fit in there because of the traffic issues. So thank you for bringing this forward, and that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilmember Shields.
Thank you, Mayor. Kind of echo the same comments. Thank you for investing in Lee Summit. This seems like an appropriate use for the area, complementing all the new residential that's going. A bunch of people need their oil changed, and it's not the first automotive business on the block, as was mentioned, so that seems fine to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Rader.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, I want to say that we always appreciate businesses coming into Lee Summit. I just have a couple of concerns, and the one that Councilmember Lovell brought up about the traffic flow. Now, I understand that it's going to be a problem with the lot that small if we have another drive-through there. I just am not sure about the comparable use of that area with what's there now. Would love to see a Valvoline come. I'm just not really sure if that's exactly the right area for it. So, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Hodges.
Thank you. So I would agree with Councilmember Rader. I was struggling when I first saw this come up. I don't have a problem with Valvoline. I was struggling with this location. I understand that it's not necessarily a popular thing for a lot of business to go into with how small the area is, but I just think of Cooper's Hawk and just nice, like nicer developments, and with the new trilogy coming in, I just don't feel like it flows. And I'm thinking long term, I can't picture that. So I'm not in support of it. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Lovell.
Thanks, Mayor. Yeah, most of my questions revolving the traffic, really just, I actually believe this will help open it up a little bit. I do think for the space and the traffic, I think it's a decent use along that corridor. If you think about kind of how it goes down all of Chipman there, and something probably on that side of town that will be used heavily. So I will be in support of it. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, Mayor Pro Tem Lopez.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. I also want to thank the applicant for considering investing in our community again. And I won't repeat what's already been said, but I think that's why the developer that master planned this entire area, that's why you have a plan. It's a mixed-use plan. And the market, I say this often, dictates what goes on a lot of these pad sites. And, I feel satisfied with they've checked all the boxes. The Planning Commission asked tough questions as well. I'm satisfied with the traffic flow. It meets the P-mix criteria that should be considered when we make a decision like this. And it's going to complement what happens in that area already. And if the traffic can be controlled on site and it doesn't impact the public, to me that's pretty important. So I'll be supporting this project. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Kind of reminds when everybody talking about taking their kids to Andy's. There wasn't Andy's when my kids. Well, yeah, there was frozen yogurt and such. But the whole thing across the street, diagonal to this, is Taco Bell, McDonald's, Wendy's. There's actually a little auto mechanic shop right behind McDonald's and Taco Bell. I can navigate that, and that one's probably just as much of a congestion nightmare as the others. But when the kids want, yes, I did take them to McDonald's and Wendy's. I kind of passed on Taco Bell for the most part, but I'll support it because I think that we can handle the congestion, the traffic there. And I don't know where to tell the Valvolines to go to if they can't go here. I don't know how we would put this into our UDOs and our comprehensive plan and our zoning if we're going to go by these parameters. So I'll support it. With that said, I'm going to ask, who's got this one? I do. Councilmember Carlisle, to please read Bill number 25-096.
Thank you, Mayor. Bill number 25-096, an ordinance approving a preliminary development plan for land located at 610 Northwest Chipman Road for Valvoline Oil, all in accordance with the provisions of Chapter 33, the Unified Development Ordinance of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Lee Summit, Missouri, be second read.
Thank you. I have a motion to move to second reading, Bill number 25-096 by Councilmember Carlisle, seconded by Councilmember Shields. Discussion? Seeing none, please cast your vote. All votes are in. Please record the vote. Passes 6-3. All right, it'll go to second reading probably first week of June. I'm going to go to another public hearing, so I'm going to close the regular session and open the public hearing in the matter of agenda item 5D, preliminary development plan for Christian Brothers Automotive, 110 Southwest Raintree Plaza Drive. Christian Brothers Automotive is the applicant. Would all those wishing to speak to this matter please rise and be sworn in by the city clerk? All right.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. Jeff Likes, 1119 East State Street, Eagle, Idaho. I'm here on behalf of Christian Brothers, and with me I have Billy Green Jr. He's our owner's representative for Christian Brothers. He's out of Houston, Texas, and we have Ziad. He's with Z & Co. They're our civil engineers, and he is also out of Houston, Texas. We're here to talk about the Christian Brothers Automotive, the PDP and an SUP. We had a P&Z hearing on April 24th, 2025. The site is located at 110 South Raintree Plaza with Raintree Drive to the north and Raintree Plaza Drive to the south. Current zoning on the property is planned community commercial, CP3 and M150 corridor development overlay. Kind of our surrounding neighbors of what we have. The nearest residence that we have is 360 feet and 330 feet from this site. To the north, there is an express oil change being constructed now. There is a car wash to the east, and directly south is a storage facility. The Christian Brothers building and site, the site is just about an acre, just over an acre, 53,449 square feet. The building square footage is just under 6,000, 5,962, and it's a 10 service bay building. We'll show some elevations here in a minute. Christian Brothers, there is one here locally. I believe it's in Independence. It's about 8 miles away. They do auto repair, oil changes, brakes, what I classify as minor auto repair. There's no body work and there's no spray booth in these buildings as well. All cars, they try to take in the work so the cars will not be stored overnight. If there are cars stored overnight, they're stored inside. So nothing's stored on site overnight. Operating hours are Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Except for the first 90 days upon opening, they are opened on Saturday, 7 to 6 as well. But after the 90 days, after the rush comes through, they close on Saturdays and they're only open Monday through Friday. They do oil changes, and I know it kind of came up earlier. They do store their used oil in pre-manufactured tanks, and it is removed by qualified certified companies come in and just take the used oil away. Give you kind of the color renderings we have here. You can see there's glass doors for the bays. Other than that, it's brick. So it's brick, most of it's brick. We do have some cultured stone that runs across the bottom, kind of by the entrances, the lower 4 feet. And then it's asphalt shingles. These buildings are about 27 feet tall to the highest point of the ridge there. And these materials are very maintenance-free materials, very easy to take care of. Kind of give you another view there, just a black and white image. Here is our lighting plan. We do have a few pole lights that help light up the site for security purposes, and decorative light fixtures that go around the building. We do maintain our light on the site, try not to overbleed off the site. We did have a neighborhood meeting. It was held on February 19th, and there was no community members in attendance and no concerns were raised at that meeting. Like we spoke earlier, we did have a Planning and Zoning Commission April 24th. A few concerns were brought up, and we'll get to that, how we address them. One was noise. Some of the neighbors brought up some noise. Well, there's an ordinance that states we need to have our doors closed during working. Obviously, they'll be open to let cars in and out, but they're closed other than that. So we agree to that. That's how we're handling these. And then our landscaping, the Planning Commission requested additional evergreen trees to the north along Southwest Raintree Drive. And we'll show you here that we've added those additional trees all along the north here to this side, and then a couple on this side over here for evergreen trees. Just help screen that building from Southwest Raintree Drive. This gives you just a couple renderings, the southeast and the northwest elevations. The southeast is looking off of Raintree Plaza Drive at the entrance. The northwest elevation there is off of Raintree Drive, kind of in the parking lot looking at it. The next two elevations are the northeast elevation, that's looking again off of Raintree Drive, and then the southwest elevation's looking off of Raintree Plaza Drive. This is just our trash enclosure, this is our AC air conditioning unit enclosure, and I'll show you where those are. That actually is what you're looking at right here. We have built that enclosure to screen all of that equipment that we have there. And this is just our trash enclosure that we have. And we'll stand for any questions.
Okay, thank you. We'll do the staff's presentation, and then we'll come back for questions.
Good evening, Ian Treffin, Planner. I'd like to begin by entering into the record Exhibit A, list of Exhibits 1 through 14.
Please enter into the record Exhibit A, 1 through 14.
Thank you. This evening, I'm presenting application PL 2025-012, a preliminary development plan for Christian Brothers Automotive at 110 Southwest Raintree Plaza Drive. The applicant is proposing a 10-bay, approximately 6,000 square foot major automotive repair facility. The property is zoned CP2, Planned Community Commercial, in the M150 Corridor Overlay District, with CP2 zoning surrounding all sides. To specify, it meets all the standards of the M150 Overlay District as well as the CP2 district. In 2007, a preliminary development plan was approved. However, that expired in 2009 due to no FTP approval being submitted, or no FDP being submitted. Therefore, it's back again for new development. Here's an image of the M150 Corridor Overlay District with the location marked out. And the Ignite Future Land Use Plan designates this property for commercial, which the proposed use meets. And then here's an image of the site, which again, the project meets all of the standards of the UDO with no need for modifications. The building is primarily constructed, out of limestone and brick, and those are the two major components, as well as glass roll-up doors and storefront glazed windows. Here are some renderings as well. With respect to the application itself, a neighborhood information meeting was held on February 19th, where no members of the public attended. Since that point in time, staff has received one phone call from the public in opposition to the project, as well as 17 written comments in opposition, as well as one written comment in support of the project. So with the condition listed here, the application does meet the standards of the Unite Comprehensive Plan and the UDO. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Questions for staff or the applicant? Councilmember Funk.
Thank you, Mayor. Probably for staff, on one of your slides, they were asking for 38. I think at the Planning Commission or the staff report said something about 40 parking spaces.
Let's see here.
30 are required.
Yes.
So I'm assuming there's 10 bays. They're probably working from each side, nothing stored on site. Have they given, I mean, what do we need 38 parking spaces for?
So I believe the standard is 2 stalls per bay. I'll have to pull up the, I don't want to speak to it without checking. I need to look. We do require it based off of the count of bays as well as the office component, but I can't speak to the exact ratio. But it is at least slightly overparked with 38 over the 30 required.
So my other question is, it was mentioned in their presentation, this is a minor auto repair is what was stated?
No. So under our UDO definition, the proposed project would be a major automotive repair facility. And that is because it does more than fender work, oil change, anything that involves removing the engine head pan, and I think some siding work as well constitutes major automotive repair. So for our definition purposes, it would be major.
Okay. The applicant had mentioned minor auto repair, and that's why I was wondering why we were going to a special use permit if this was just a minor auto repair, basically the same previous application we just had.
Yes. No. As the extent of the work being done here constitutes major for our purposes.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Shields.
Thank you, Mayor. Is it possible to look a little bit about what the other uses are in this area? I know there's been some, like you say, some public opposition, so I just kind of wanted to get a feel for like if this sort of fits in with the neighborhood. 'Cause I'm looking at it and it looks like it'd be right next to a car wash, mini storage, grocery store. Like, is that, do I have that kind of right? So what all do we have in the area at this point?
I'll pull up this image. It shows more than that, but kind of the idea is there is a car wash facility to the southeast, as well as a oil change facility to the northwest. In addition to that, there is, my cursor will show up, kind of a strip retail commercial component. There's some restaurants, there's a McDonald's here, but predominantly back in the second and third tier of this development in this area reaching down south from 150. It's a lot of automotive-oriented uses, so the oil change facility namely and the auto wash.
Okay, and otherwise although we do have to talk in the next public hearing about special use permit, it's a normal use for this zoning, like this, they don't need to change the zoning, they're not asking for any modifications.
That's correct. It's permitted on the condition of a special use permit. Yeah. But yes, no modifications are needed or rezoning.
So it's already kind of fitting in with what that area was planned to develop as far as the zoning goes. So, okay, I think those are all my questions. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Rader.
Thank you, Mayor. Of the letters that we received from the concerned residents, and this may be a question for staff, traffic staff, there's been some terrible accidents over there in the last couple of weeks, and lots of people that I know live over that way, and they are concerned about the increase in the traffic because this is a commercial use area. So I didn't know if there was anybody that could, maybe Mr. Park or someone can kind of address those concerns? And is there something that can be done in that area to prevent, I know it's a flashing, I think there's a flashing light there as you turn into the flashing turn light there as you go into that area. And people can't see around the cars that are in front of them coming, when there's cars parked here waiting to turn this way, they can't see. So I'm just curious if there's anything that we have on, that we've thought about that maybe we could do to help prevent some of the traffic issues there?
So Michael Park, Director of Public Works, we have not, because it's a MoDOT intersection, MoDOT Highway, M150. Yeah, they have a flashing yellow arrow followed by a protected arrow for those movements, but I'm sure this is something that MoDOT consider. When we looked at this intersection, I think most recently was probably way back when Walmart came in, and they did a massive traffic impact study, and they considered development, including the development of this project area right here. There was a previous development plan that was approved for more fast food and other types of commercial or service-oriented business. That study included projections for this type of development to come in. So it had been studied, and the intersection of M150 and Market Street was built out based on those traffic projections to include this area of development, as well as the Walmart and some of the areas around Walmart that have yet to develop. In my opinion, I think the intersection is what I would consider built out. There's no more capacity to add more left turn lanes. You're not going to add 3 left turn lanes or 2 right turn lanes. The relief would come for this area, I think, when we get to the point we have a hook interchange, a grade separated interchange to relieve the volumes on 150 highway. Otherwise, you're going to continue to see traffic growth in this area, and the growth along 150, the volumes currently are comparable to, I believe, Chipman, maybe a little less than Chipman Road. So it still has more opportunity to absorb continued development. But I think ultimately what you're going to need is some relief as an alternate route. We're going to have to implement in partnerships with MoDOT a grade separated interchange at Hook Road to support access, alternative access to the area.
Well, I'm no traffic engineer, but do you believe that if we just didn't have a blinking yellow light there and just a turn light there instead, that would help? Because seriously, there's been a lot of people that have made mention of that. And I understand it's MoDOT, but, people want to know that we're concerned. And
well, I would submit those concerns, and I encourage anybody who's got those concerns to submit them to MoDOT for evaluation. I'll say that, the operation of what's called a permitted or flashing yellow, same thing as a green ball, allows those yielding movements to occur during periods when it's not so congested. So think in the middle of the day or a weekend. There's a lot of capacity in that type of operation. If you're making everybody wait for their protected movement, that means they can't clear out, and there's not a lot of space there for those cars to queue or stack in those turn lanes. So MoDOT is leveraging that permissive, the ability for people to find gaps, especially during non-peak times, to clear these intersections quicker.
well, I appreciate that information. I hope that people are watching so they can hear.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks, Mayor. Out. That's all I have now.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Shields.
Thank you, Mayor. So I have a couple of questions, sort of following up on a couple of things that Councilmember Rader touched on about traffic. So if a automotive repair facility didn't go in here, what other uses would go in here? And as far as the expected trip generation for this kind of a business, would you consider it on the high end or the low end of the kinds of businesses that might go here?
So I can't speak to the trip generation of specific land uses, but within the CP2 district, anything, I wouldn't say, so there's a wide range of potential land uses. It could go from food service to retail to minor automotive, but ultimately, since it's a planned district, it will have to come back through for a PDP, no matter what that looks like.
No, I understand. I guess what I'm getting at is, I think sometimes people hear car business and they think lots of cars, but when we talk up here, it seems like a lot of times what really generates lots of cars are fast food or some retail, because you go into it in and out 20 times a day, as opposed to once in a great while, a few cars a day coming in for repairs.
You're right. And as I kind of alluded to, previous studies, granted they were a long time ago, had made some assumptions of your fast food type restaurants would generate a lot more traffic. And the zoning would permit those same kind of fast food restaurants to be here, if that's what the market dictates. And it would generate a lot more traffic than you would expect a kind of service, car-oriented business would, which I would consider is more schedule-based than just drop in, pick up, high turnover, and a lot of trips being generated.
Right. I guess that's just what I kind of wanted to get my head around is like if we assume that this is going to develop for something, it is zoned to develop commercially, this is maybe on the lower end of the traffic that might be generated there.
Correct.
And then this doesn't, sometimes when we have bigger developments, they require all kinds of infrastructure upgrades, new turn lanes, turn signals. This doesn't require that. It's not generating enough.
Actually, all of
do I
the
understand this right?
infrastructure surrounding this area was planned with a previous preliminary development plan, and these are kind of like ready-made pad sites. So there are no additional public improvements associated with this development.
Okay. So it's designed to handle some additional commercial load there. Okay. Those are all my questions. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Pryor?
Thank you, Mayor. Well, so it's hard to tell from this map, but how close is the closest house? Because, it looks like it's pretty far away, but I just can't.
Yes, so the nearest house is approximately 370 feet, roughly, to the southwest.
Okay.
Yeah, and to the property line, it's about 200 feet.
Okay, thank you.
Can you just go ahead and get some map and,
Yeah.
other than that one? No.
Or just any map?
Yeah, Mr. Trefferin, is that how you said?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, just pull up a map so we can see the area. Like a Google map. Like a
Oh,
Google map.
Oh, yeah, sure. Sorry, my brain's a little frazzled.
Okay, and then zoom out a little bit, please. Yeah, there we go. So we can see, and then put your cursor where the application is, right there.
Yep.
Does that help? Okay. All right, thank you, sir. Other questions for staff or applicant? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and go to the public on this side. No, we have a couple speakers, so I'll let them go first, and then if anybody else wants to speak, they can as well. So, Miss Jean Scanlon Peck, that's a name. That's a blast. A name from my past. How are you? Thanks for coming in. I'm good. Yeah, either one. You can go there, or you can go to the center one if you prefer.
I appreciate the opportunity to speak with everybody, and I realize during the Pledge of Allegiance how I'm not used to doing this, as my heart is beating out of my chest. I am not a public speaker. I've never spoken in a public forum. I've never actually been to a city council meeting. I do feel a responsibility to my community, as we all do, I'm sure. My objection is not with type of business or the Christian Brothers, facility. It is strictly 100% due to the safety of that intersection. You have to go through that intersection to go on Raintree. I hold my breath when I go through that intersection, and I understand, we're saying that this is not a Lee Summit intersection, that this is a Missouri, it's a MoDOT problem. But to continue to add businesses that are going to bring in traffic is not responsible. We're going to build we have all this development coming in from Greenwood. they're gonna traverse this intersection. I have seen it breaks my heart. I've seen so many accidents in this intersection. I heard the fire trucks go up the street. And I say a little prayer because chances are they're going to this intersection. I'm very aware of 2 Thanksgivings ago. A girl, a teenage girl, a high school girl, was going through the intersection on a green light. A police car, no lights, no sirens, no disrespect to the police whatsoever, went through the intersection, totaled her car, put her in the hospital. This is common. 2 weeks ago, and I commented on this when I wrote, there was such a horrific accident that there were reports there's got to be fatalities. They use jaws of life. This is not a one-off. This is constant. This intersection is terrible, yet we continue to add businesses to this intersection. It's scary. It's not responsible. I understand there were traffic studies done. I think they're wrong. When you are going east and west on Missouri 150 highway, you are taking your life into your hands if you are turning left. You cannot see. Especially if you're going west because there's a hill. You cannot see the cars coming over. And if it's during a particular time of the day, you are looking directly into the sun. You cannot see. These accidents are not only going to continue, but they are going to get worse. There are going to be more and more and more, all of them, all the time. I have nothing against Christian Brothers Automotive. I have my car serviced up at Derek's. That's great. I would like to have them closer. I felt the need, I was compelled to come and speak on this. It touches me when I see these people in these terrible, terrible accidents because of the sinners. Appreciate that you afforded me time to speak with you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Millett?
Hi, thanks for the opportunity to address you all. I think that intersection is part of the problem up there. There was an accident there just last week, and a pretty bad one. In fact, they closed 150 highway so they could get it cleaned up. But the other thing is, my other question is, I personally don't think we need another automotive repair place around there. We've got 3 there now. You got one at Walmart, which nobody mentioned. You got one at the Firestone store, which nobody mentioned. And then up within, I can go to 15 of them within 10 minutes of where they're wanting to build one. So I'm just kind of opposed to it. I don't think we need another automotive repair shop in that area, especially across the street from the one that they just built, which is going to be doing automotive repair. They're just not an oil change place. They are an automotive repair shop too. So that's going to put 2 right next door to each other. You got one down in Greenwood. You've got all of them up there along 291, 50 highway. You've got, car dealers up there. You got plenty of car repair shops. But the other problem is the traffic there. Getting down to Raintree, you've just got that 2-lane road going down there, and I realize that's part of the state of Missouri. That's their responsibility, and they haven't been very good, I hate to say this, at taking care of that intersection or that road like they're supposed to. So that's all I have. Thanks for your time.
All right, thank you. Anybody else here to speak? Okay. All right, then I'm going to go back to council. Any additional questions from council? Councilmember Pryor.
Thank you. Did you close the public hearing? No?
I have not closed the public hearing.
Okay, so on the yellow light, the flashing yellow light, one of the emails that I have received was that when the sun's right there setting, it does flash yellow. Does MoDOT ever make an exception and just have it a straight yellow light and not a flashing?
And when you come up, Mr. Park, make sure, can you pull up a map and show us the yellow light that is being referenced?
Give this a try. Technology, right? Actually drive up and see. So you're referring here to this, it flashes yellow, goes green when you have the protected movement. While it's flashing, you're permitted to turn like any other green ball. I can't speak for MoDOT or on behalf of MoDOT, but they do have protected only movements where it's just a green arrow and then it goes. They also have flashing yellow all up and down 150 highway, and there are also alternatives where they have no protection, where it's just purely a permissive green ball operation. So I think they go through their own assessment of operations. One, what is the level of service? What is the level of congestion? The volumes and the turning movements. They may even use some typical practice of, are there multiple turn lanes, and trying to keep sequence consistent. So if you have opposing lefts, a lot of times you don't want to have one that's protected and one that's permitted, because then people start guessing and they're guessing wrong. But all of this would be assessed by MoDOT, and we have done no analysis, nor would we, on behalf of MoDOT, or take responsibility for making a judgment on how they need to operate their intersection. Yeah, it's unfortunate. We have seen through crash reports, crashes here as well as just about every other signalized intersection in the city. And anytime you increase development or change development, you're going to increase, the potential for more crashes. It's just an unfortunate reality of traffic operations and safety.
Thank you. There have been a lot lately. Would an appropriate step be to write their state representative? Is that who probably?
No, I would actually just reach out to MoDOT and ask if they've done any analysis, share those concerns of safety. You can contact MoDOT online. They have a very nice online portal interface, as well as their phone number, which I believe is 622-6500. Or they're located here in Lee Summit, just up off Colburn Road.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Park, before you go, do you, when, I know that, when it comes to crash frequency or, things of that nature, we monitor that. Does staff, as in you, or I know you work with the police department, that's what the whole joint operations center is all about. We're spending all this money on a joint operations center so that you can be in the same building, basically, for public safety when it comes to vehicle and the coordination between the streets department and the police. So traffic engineers, that's the one I'm looking for. So what triggers something more than, this is built out. Like you said, there's no more turn lanes. There's no more right, left. We've got stoplights at every one. This is a stoplight. It may be a blinking light, but it's a stoplight. So where is this one at? Is it at the top of our, like you said, there's accidents all over the city. Is this one got more accidents than others? Do you have that information, that type of information?
I probably don't have any current recollection of running what I would consider like high crash locations in volume. And when we do that, we start with all the crashes that are reported in the city, and then we filter out everything that's MoDOT, and we don't really give them much of a second look. Years ago, I remember this one was not on like a top 10 list in Lee Summit, and quite frankly, almost all of the top 10 intersections, when you look at crash rates, are MoDOT intersections. You think about interchanges or on 291, as you're going through town 291 North, that's where you're going to see them. It's kind of logical. Where the highest volumes are is where you're going to see most crashes. I don't recall seeing this one. I'm not going to commit, but I don't recall seeing this one on like that top 10 list. And almost all of those top 10 are always MoDOTs. We then begin to focus on what are ours, because we can make a difference at our intersections that start to rise in the top 20 and providing mitigations. And I think MoDOT started some of that. One, they monitor level service. Congestion contributes towards crashes. Speed contributes towards crashes and the severity of crashes. And they'll escalate the signal operations from this yielding condition to a flashing yellow. And then ultimately, if they feel it gets bad enough, it'll just be a protected only at the compromise of time, right? So the efficiency is lost when you go to those more restrictive movements. And that's the balance that they'll do. They'll kind of
What was that
look at
last
operations.
statement? You said what's lost?
Efficiency.
Yeah. Still, safety is important, so do we look at these things and then monitor speeds, like you said?
We do, and we have to factor efficiency in it, because the less efficient it is, the less safe it becomes. So, like I said, you got to weigh out all the factors in the balance of an operation.
Okay. I just want to hear that from Chief Forbes, if he could confirm what you're saying, because I know there's some things that sound intuitive, such as, oh, put a police car over there. But from my experience, police cars make things a lot less efficient, the presence of police cars. Do you have any thoughts on all of this, sir?
Yes, Mayor, members of council, Travis Forbes, the Chief of Police. I don't have the top 10 memorized. I have probably the top 3 memorized. It's definitely not one of our top 3, 50 and 291, which we are getting ready to do a lot of work to, is probably number 1. Usually 50 and 3rd Street, 50 and Chipman are usually our top 3. But it is a problematic intersection. And currently we have a crash reduction project. We do those throughout the city based upon crash numbers, and our project is 150 Highway. Not necessarily just that intersection, but almost the entire stretch of 150 as it runs through the city of Lee Summit. And we are primarily focusing on speeding, so folks drive carefully as you go through there. Because yes, we have had some, not necessarily the numbers too, we definitely look at the numbers of crashes, but also the severity of crashes are a concern too. So we have had some pretty severe crashes there, and it is complicated because you have the access control with the stoplights, but speeding is often a factor that contributes to it too, as people try to beat the light, or just it's a highway, pretty straight shot there, so people tend to speed there too, and that sometimes contributes to reaction times not being quick enough and crashes occurring. So I hope that helps.
It does. You said speeding, but once you target an area for reduction, as in a crash reduction, you start implementing things on your end to try to slow things down or make the area more safe. So that's what we need to know, because it's obviously a topic here as we're discussing this automotive shop that's south of this intersection. So, okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. I'm not seeing any more questions for staff or applicant. So I'm going to ask the applicant, do you care to make any further comment?
Just real quick. Our Christian Brothers is a destination business, so it's like someone stated earlier. It's not a business that you just like drive by and go, oh, I need to get my brakes. Instead, you're going here for a purpose, and it's a neighborhood service. So we're working with the neighbors that are close to us. That's who go to our places. We're not traveling 8 to 10 to 12 to 15 miles. There's other places they can go, and so this is really a service-oriented business for the local neighbors.
The comment was earlier was the minor auto, but I think that was a in staff's presentation, you're not calling yourself a minor auto shop, are
No,
you?
that was me, and that was my bad. It
okay.
is a major on per your code.
Okay. Why do you call it minor versus major?
I do work all over the country.
Yeah.
Most jurisdictions, the difference between a major and a minor is a paint booth and body work. And so, brakes, oil changes, minor stuff like, I keep calling it minor stuff, but things like that are more minor, what they consider minor. It's really the paint booth that throws us into a major automotive repair.
The fact that you have a paint booth, you mean?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Any further questions?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to close the regular session, or public hearing, and open the regular session. Is there any council discussion on this application? Councilmember Shields.
Thank you, Mayor. I guess I want to start by saying I think we all agree public safety is really important. I'm glad that we have police force that recognizes that and works on crash reduction and road safety in addition to all their other responsibilities. So I do think that's really important. I think it's frustrating that MoDOT doesn't always listen to public concerns, including from this dais. But that said, given the situation, I think a business like this that generates less traffic than a lot of other businesses that would be allowed in that location and that is mainly serving the neighborhood makes a lot of sense for that spot. I think if we want to just say you can't ever build anything else in that area until MoDOT does something to that intersection, I think we really limit ourselves as a city and limit the opportunities for the people that live there too. That I know there are folks who are concerned about this, but there's also a lot of folks that live in those houses not too far from there that are going to go there and get their brakes done. And people are always saying we need more services down here. And I think if we just say we don't want to let anyone build anything because we can't have any more traffic down here, that's not going to make those residents, my constituents, happy either. Like if that becomes our standard, that we won't let you put in any new businesses until MoDOT cleans up their act, then they're just never going to get any new businesses down there. And I don't feel like that's what we're trying to accomplish here. That's not why we've built out this infrastructure and been trying to bring business to South Lee Summit. So I would be in support of this. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Rader.
Thank you, Mayor. So this is an area of commercial use, and it was planned that way. And I believe, as Councilmember Shields indicated, if it wasn't Christian Brothers, it's going to be another company or business that wants to come in that area. And so it's really, we've got two separate issues here. And that is the fact that, a business wants to come in here, they want to be part of our community, and then we have a traffic issue. And so I am in support of the Christian Brothers. I think it's a good company. I used to go there a long time ago. That has really great curb appeal. I think they're very responsible. I think the location is pretty good next to the car wash. But I think that what we need to do is we need to go to MoDOT, not us as a city, but I think the residents need to get together there and they need to see what they can do to make things better. So that would be my suggestion, and hope that maybe somehow or another we can help with that. But definitely it's not fun knowing about people that are hurt and killed in that area. So thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Pryor.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to start by saying, so I've gone to MoDOT, not about this intersection, but about the crumbling curbs that are all around this intersection, and they basically told me it's not in their plans to get them fixed anytime soon. So they're sometimes hard to deal with. But I think this seems like a pretty decent location for an automotive shop. It does concern me that there is a full-service automotive shop right next door. But I do feel like I've received enough emails and enough phone calls that I need to stand with the people in my district. So because of that, I am not in support of this. But thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Hodges.
Thank you. This is one we've received quite a few emails on, so it's always hard when these projects come to us, because I actually used to live where I went through this intersection for many years, and I almost got hit many times in this intersection. So I sympathize with this, but also being on council for a little bit now, I also realize, kind of as my colleagues were saying, that if we don't approve this, then I worry for something higher traffic with a different council coming, you know, I worry that something that does generate a lot more cars could go in this spot. I think this is a good location for something like this. I think it's attractive, especially for the type of business it is. I've heard good things about this business, and so we want businesses like that that do have a good reputation. So as they were speaking about their concerns, I actually submitted a concern to MoDOT about this. But I do think we do need to raise awareness to this, because I feel like we need to just bug MoDOT until something happens. But I think I am in support of it, just because I'm worried about something more high traffic going in here and creating a bigger issue than what we're worried about now. So, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any further discussion? I'll just say that those pad sites have been empty for quite some time, as in more than 2 decades. So we're glad to see things pick up, and we do need to try to mitigate for traffic and safety as much as possible. So I think my council members are right. We need to push on MoDOT. Ask Chief Forbes to keep an eye on this area. And if you got to slow it down to keep it safe, or whatever the crash reduction techniques that you're going to utilize and implement. If you would please take a serious look at this, because just like what was just being said, I know this area would like some more restaurants on 150. And that's going to bring traffic, so we do need to start addressing doing what we can in that area so that this remains a safe corridor. So I will be supporting it, and appreciate the investment in Lee Summit as well. So with that said, I'm going to ask Councilmember Hodges, would you please read Bill number 25-097?
I advance to second reading Bill number 25-097, an ordinance approving a preliminary development plan for land located at 110 Southwest Raintree Plaza Drive for Christian Brothers Automotive, all in accordance with the provisions of Chapter 33, the Unified Development Ordinance of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Lee Summit, Missouri.
Thank you. I have a motion to move to second reading Bill number 25-097 by Councilmember Hodges, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Lopez. Discussion? Seeing none, please cast your vote. All votes are in. Please record the vote. It does pass 8-1. It'll go to second reading, I think, first week of June. And again, thank you for investing in Lee Summit. We're going to move on to the next. I think you have a special use permit coming up, so we're going to close the regular session, open the public hearing in the matter of agenda item, sorry, my eyes are killing me here, 5E. Special use permit, Christian Brothers Automotive, 110 Southwest Raintree Plaza Drive. Christian Brothers Automotive is the applicant. Would all those wishing to speak to this matter please rise and be sworn in by the city clerk?
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I know that you just presented. Would you like to say anything before I have staff come forward, or do you want staff to do the presentation?
Let's have staff go first, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. I'd like to enter into the record Exhibit A, list of exhibits 1 through 15.
Please enter into the record Exhibit A 1 through 15.
Thank you. This evening I'll be presenting application PL 2025-013, the special use permit for the Christian Brothers Automotive at 110 Southwest Raintree Plaza Drive. The applicant is proposing a special use permit to operate the 10-bay, roughly 6,000 square foot facility at 110. The applicant is requesting a 35-year special use permit approval period. Staff is supportive of a reduced 30-year SUP approval period, and the applicant was agreeable to this recommendation. The property is zoned CP2 in the M150 corridor overlay, surrounded by CP2 zoning on all sides, and meets all standards of both, as well as the Ignite land use map, which is identified for commercial. The project meets all standards of the UDO and the site plans here. Once again, the application had a neighborhood information meeting on February 19th. No members attended that meeting. However, since then, staff has received 1 call from the public in opposition and 17 letters or written comments in opposition and 1 written comment in favor of the project. So with respect to the recommendation period approval, the applicant's requesting the 35-year period of SP approval. Staff support with a 30-year based off of previous new construction, major automotive repair facilities with no auto sales component, which have ranged between 20 and 30 years. So with that, we're keeping with previously approved applications with recommendation. So with the standard of approval condition listed here, the application does meet the standards of the comprehensive plan. Thank you.
All right, thank you. At this point, Mr. Lake, is it? What was your last name? Likes. Likes, L-I-K-E-S?
That's correct.
Would you like to make comment?
Just real quick, 30 years is important to us. We'd love a 40-year, but we understand we asked for 35, got 30. And so we're in agreement with the 30 for that special use permit. It is important to Christian Brothers for that 30 years, just in terms of how they operate. Again, they're a well-run company, and the materials on their building are very high quality. And so in talking with planning and zoning, that was kind of their concern too about it, was the materials and are things be able to keep up. They do keep their sites up, they keep them clean, and like I said, the building itself is very easy to maintain. Any questions?
If they do, they'll start chiming in and I'll call on them, but thank you. Councilmember Pryor.
Thank you, Mayor. So I was just wondering why, and I think this is more for staff, but why they have to get a special use permit when the express oil change tire place says it's a full-service automotive shop that does AC repair, oil changes, brakes, battery alignment. And I don't remember them having to get a special use permit. Like why them and not the other place?
So, from the definition standpoint, express oil change was a minor automotive repair facility, so it only required a conditional approval without a SUP. As to what was approved and the exact standards and what operations they conduct on a day-to-day basis and how that fits into it, I can't necessarily speak to. I could go back and look at what the threshold is for major versus minor. When they had applied for their FDP and when they came to us with their pre-application meeting, the way that it was described would have been a minor automotive repair facility, but so Shannon might have something to say to that effect.
Hi, Shannon McGuire, Planning Manager. So the difference, the UDO does establish the 2 different types of uses, a major and minor. Minor automobile repair is replacement of parts that do not require removal of the engine head pan, engine transmission, differential, or those major body components. So repair of AC service, brakes, that's all considered minor. Christian Brothers here is going to get into those major components, transmission, head pan, some of those alignment type stuff. So while they do offer a more than just oil service, it still falls under that minor. So that's why they were not required a special use permit.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, is there anybody that wishes to speak in favor or in opposition to this application? Please come forward. All right, are there any additional questions from council? Does the applicant care to make any further comment? Mr. Likes, anything else?
No.
Okay. All right, then I'm going to close the public hearing and reopen the regular session. Is there any council discussion on this application? other than there's a dispute between what's major and what's minor, and when it comes to city definitions and automotive people's definitions. So, all right. Seeing no further questions or comments, Councilmember Funk, would you please read Bill number 25-098?
Thank you, Mayor. I advance the second reading, Bill number 25-098, an ordinance granting a special use permit for a major automotive repair facility in District CP2, Planned Community Commercial, on land located at 110 Southwest Raintree Plaza Drive for a period of 30 years, all in accordance with Article 6 of the Unified Development Ordinance for the City of Lee Summit, Missouri.
Thank you. We have a motion to adopt Bill number 25-098 by Councilmember Funk, seconded by Councilmember Hodges. Discussion? Seeing none, please cast your vote. All votes are in. Please record the vote. It passes 8-1. That too will go to second reading. Thank you all for being here tonight. All right, we're going to go to resolutions. Public comments. Thank you, sir. Public comments.
Two public comments for the people that spoke during the public hearing.
Okay. Then we will go to resolutions read by our city clerk, Ms. Fowler Curry. Would you please read resolution number 2513?
Resolution number 25-13, a resolution to adopt the 2025 Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Thank you. We have a motion to adopt resolution number 2513. I need someone to motion for me, please. Councilmember Shields has motioned to adopt. Councilmember Pryor has seconded. Thank you. Discussion? Councilmember Shields.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wonder if someone from our public safety community could just tell us briefly what this is and.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, Assistant Chief Ben Hicks with the Lee Summit Fire Department. So what the regional multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan is, it happens every 5 years, and what happens is all the regional jurisdictions get with Mid-America Regional Council, and we walk through both in the region and individually what kind of severe natural hazards that can face our community. So we were really lucky. We had the school district take part in this. Public Works with their floodplain management team helped take part in this, and just really looking at specifically within our community what kind of natural hazards that are going to be a big issue for us and what different ways we can kind of mitigate those.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Yep, thank you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right, any discussion? All right, seeing none, please cast your vote. All votes are in. Please record the vote. And that resolution is adopted. Thank you. We're going to go to proposed ordinances forward from committee. Councilmember Shields, would you please read Bill number 25-095?
Thank you, Mayor. I move for second reading Bill number 25-095, an ordinance approving the purchase and installation of office furniture and furnishings by Pure Workplace Solutions as needed for the South Police Substation, authorizing city manager to execute all necessary documents on behalf of the city.
Thank you. I have a motion to move to second reading Bill number 25-095 by Councilmember Shields, seconded by Councilmember Funk. Discussion. Seeing none, please cast your vote. All votes are in. Please record the vote. It is unanimous. Goes to second reading. Councilmember Shields, would you please?
Thank you, Mayor. And I move for adoption of Bill number 25-095, an ordinance approving the purchase and installation of office furniture and furnishings by Pure Workspace Solutions as needed for the South Police Substation and authorizing the city manager to execute all necessary documents on behalf of the city.
Thank you. We have a motion to adopt Bill number 25-095 by Councilmember Shields, seconded by Councilmember Hodges. Discussion? Please cast your vote. All votes are in. Please record the vote. It's adopted unanimously. Thank you all. Councilmember Pryor, would you please read Bill number 25-099?
Thank you, Mayor. It's a Roman numeral, but it's a Roman numeral that I know. So, anyway, I move to advance to a second reading, Bill number 25-099, an ordinance amending Chapter 4 Alcoholic Beverages, Article 3 Licenses, Division 1, generally Section 4 through 76, required of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Lee Summit, Missouri.
Thank you. We have a motion to move to second reading, Bill number 25-099 by Councilmember Pryor, seconded by Councilmember Hodges. Discussion? Yes, Councilmember Lovell.
Yeah, so we reviewed this at CEDC this week, and this is really just kind of a cleanup to our ordinance that allows for complimentary beverages at different locations where they don't sell food. I can't remember some of the other stipulations, but it really just got us in line with, I think, Missouri and some other municipalities, so something we needed to clean up, and that's why you're seeing it tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Councilmember Shields?
Thank you, Mayor. I was looking at this, and I think it's such a great idea. I'm glad that you guys took this up in committee. I was talking to a local business owner the other day about what it takes for them to put on something like the wine walk downtown, and all these boutiques have to get their own liquor licenses for just a small event like that, and they have to spend a bunch of money, not just on, all the gifts and goodies for all the customers, but also on this additional red tape. So I think this is great to make it a little bit easier for some of our businesses to be successful. So thank you guys for handling this.
Thank you. Any other discussion or comments? Seeing none, please cast your vote. I need one more vote. There we go. All votes are in. Please record the vote. It's unanimously goes to second reading. Councilmember Pryor, would you please?
I move for adoption Bill number 25-099, an ordinance amending Chapter 4 Alcoholic Beverages, Article 3 Licenses, Division 1, generally, Section 4 through 76, required of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Lee Summit, Missouri.
Thank you. I have a motion to adopt Bill number 25-099 by Councilmember Pryor, seconded by Councilmember Hodges. Discussion. Please cast your vote. All votes are in. Please record the vote. That bill is adopted unanimously. Thank you. We're going to go to proposed ordinances. First reading. Councilmember Rader, would you please read Bill number 25-100?
Yes, Mayor. I advance to second reading Bill number 25-100, an ordinance approving a sanitary sewer cost sharing agreement between North Oak Safety Storage LLC and the City of Lee Summit, Missouri for the Lakewood Business Center Industrial Development Project.
All right. Thank you. We have a motion to move to second reading Bill number 25-100 by Councilmember Rader, seconded by Councilmember Hodges. Discussion? Seeing none, please cast your vote. All votes are in. Please record the vote. Does go to second reading unanimously. Unanimously, that is. Thank you. Proposed ordinances, second reading. Councilmember Lovell, would you please read Bill number 25-090?
I move for adoption Bill number 25-090, an ordinance approving, adopting, and appropriating the budget for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2026 for the Fire Department of the city.
Thank you. I have a motion to adopt Bill number 25-090 by Councilmember Lovell, seconded by Councilmember Hodges. Discussion? Seeing none, please cast your vote. All votes are in. Please record the vote. Passes 8-0 with one recusal, and that means our budget is adopted. Next, Councilmember Funk, would you please read Bill number 25-091?
Thank you, Mayor. I move for adoption Bill number 25-091, an ordinance approving, adopting, and appropriating the budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026 for the Municipal Court Division of the city.
Thank you. We have a motion to adopt Bill number 25-091 by Councilmember Funk, seconded by Councilmember Shields. Discussion. Seeing none, please cast your vote. All votes are in. Please record the vote. That also passes 8-0 with one recusal as well on the municipal courts. Next, Councilmember, where's it at?
That'd be me.
Here we go. Mayor Pro Tem Lopez, would you please read Bill number 25-092?
Yes, thanks, Mayor. I move for adoption of Bill number 25-092, an ordinance establishing a pay and classification plan for employees of the city who are represented by a labor organization for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026.
Thank you. We have a motion to move to adoption. Bill number 25-092 by Mayor Pro Tem Lopez, seconded by Councilmember Hodges. Discussion. Please. Oh, yes, Councilmember Pryor.
Thank you. Recuse on this one, too. I couldn't remember if I did. Okay. if I was the one. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you. Seeing no discussion, please cast your vote. All votes are in. Please record the vote. It passes 8-0 with one recusal for the pay for the employees, represented by labor unions. And then committee reports. Committee reports. Yes, Councilmember Shields.
Thank you, Mayor. Myself, Councilmember Lovell, and you were all at the LSEDC board meeting today. They're continuing to do good work, planning some great events coming up, so keep an eye out for those. And we had our new Board of Education member present tonight. We've added a school board member to the non-voting members of the EDC to kind of increase some collaboration and transparency there. So I think that was a great step. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for bringing that up. Councilmember Lovell, did you think it went well, the EDC meeting?
I did.
It did.
Yeah,
Things
it's
are humming.
very
and,
encouraging. A lot of
you know,
good stuff
Joe
going on there.
Perry is I just think council will be pleased with the activity that he's drumming up and pursuing, and he's going to be super active and aggressive, I think. Yep. All right, thank you. Anybody else? Committee reports? Council comments? Councilmember Pryor?
Thank you, Mayor. Well, I just wanted to tell everyone that since it's B week, that we have a lot of local places, including, B Day. Oh, it's B Day. But we have a lot of local places that sell local honey, and it's much better than anything you can buy at the grocery store. But Messner's in downtown Lee Summit, they always have local honey sourced from several beehives, like, around the area. And then there's just several throughout the city of Lee Summit that have bees and have local honey. So search those out before you go to the grocery store.
Yep. Thank you. Okay, staff roundtable.
Thank you, Mayor. Just one item. If you've tried coming into downtown Lee Summit on 2nd Street, coming from the west, it's a little bit of a challenge right now. We have 2nd Street westbound shut down into downtown. It's a sanitary sewer manhole emergency that we're getting at. So a little bit challenging in and out of downtown. If you're coming into downtown, take 3rd Street coming in if you want to get to downtown in a straight shot. And then exiting downtown, going to the west, take 2nd Street out. So that's going to be about a 2-week shutdown at that 2nd Street location. So we know it's pretty disruptive, but things that we need to get to and resolve. So that's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Mr. Denning, I told you, no more closings on 3rd Street, and you did this on purpose.
This was not planned.
Really, no, it's on purpose. You're doing this to really, you know, I mean, we just wanted a break, where we but then we would have
It
felt
was the wrong
free.
kind of break, right? We're
Yeah.
trying to keep things from breaking.
Okay, well, 2 weeks. Is that it? 2 weeks? Okay. Okay, well, thank you to everyone for being here. We do need to read into a closed session. So you all get to go, but we don't. So, Councilmember Shields.
All right. Pursuant to Section 610-2113 of the revised statutes of the state of Missouri pertaining to individually identifiable personnel records, performance ratings, or records pertaining to employees or applicants for employment, I move to enter closed session.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion to go into closed session by Councilmember Shields, seconded by Councilmember Hodges. Discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Shields?
Aye.
Councilmember Hodges?
Aye.
Councilmember Lovell?
Aye.
Councilmember Carlisle?
Aye.
Councilmember Funk?
Aye.
Councilmember Rader?
Aye.
Councilmember Pryor?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Lopez?
Aye.
Mayor Baird?
Aye. Everyone have a good night.